And the scumbag said something like the Ragu Festival because it was a festival, and it was also a reference to Smoke Fest. It was also a reference to Goo Goo Dolls because we had played with the Cupid dolls. That was later. It's a reference to my name, Dolly, Raya, Ragu, Justin Resnick, the Mattress King in Albany. Maybe Soul Asylum's Runaway Train or whatever it is. It's a reference to me breaking up a fight at Saratoga Winners where the security guard was whipping around two kids that were getting too hardcore with the moshing. That was 92, wasn't it? That right there, they're referencing 92. But they also make references to 1990. Um, they also probably got a hold of Aaron Smith's record. I forget their name, but they did a song called I'm Not Punked, Though You Want Me to Be, I'll Never Join Your Club. Hughes, Jason Hughes. Then another guy had the name of Smith. Was it the guy from Ranson? Which was odd because my mentor was, one of them was Matt Smith, and he played really good. All of this predates their shit. He said he went on the loop de loop. That's a reference to us covering Freddie Boom Boom Cannon's Palisades Park. Also a reference to our record label Shaboom that we, like I said, we did not get off, but it came out later. Which is also a reference to the Ramones doing Palisades Park. I used to listen to the oldies. See, there you go. I used to listen to the oldies station, and we used to do songs by. We did songs. We did Neil Sedaka. We did Ernie Maresca's "Shout Shout Knock Yourself Out." We did Palisades Park by Freddie Boom Boom Cannon. We did 7 Day Weekend by Gary U.S. Bonds. Then they must have overheard some kind of conversation about Gene calling my father a stupid drunk that beats his family. And my father was not an alcoholic. He was a he was an NA counselor. The whole respect thing was about the rest of my family. I'll put a condom on your tombstone. That probably has to do with me worrying about. Yeah, Farrah used to. She would do side gigs when she wasn't working at her job. One of her gigs was working for Tombstone Pizza, and it said, "What do you want on your tombstone?" And I always used to worry about her being pregnant, so he said, "I'll put a condom on your tombstone," which basically says, "I want to fuck your girl." Um, yeah, this guy's a piece of shit, just like the rest of them. This was all in 1992. Endless bugging and monitoring of my fucking life to protect what they did. Who else would go to such great extremes? It caused a lot of heartbreak and a lot of suffering. I've seen a lot of suffering, and by doing shit like that, you push people to suicide. You push people to death. You push people to, and then eventually the QE2 went away. Why, I don't know, but it was taken over by a bunch of gay dudes because somebody got offended because the fakers didn't understand gay Jewish Nazis, which is exactly what Hitler was. It was tongue in cheek. It was humor. It was camp. Hitler was gay. He was Jewish, and he was a Nazi. If you looked at the stickers, you would fucking know that: a Star of David, a rainbow, and a swastika. He forced everybody to change their shit, and they used to have spray paint all over town about me at Westgate Plaza, over at the other place, over at Max Tracks, where it said Rudy two times does it all, because he does. He writes them. Sometimes he plays drums, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he plays bass, sometimes he doesn't. But he writes them all himself. But I was told Seizure on Christmas was about DJ Sins. I don't know. It could have been a poison pen. That's why I got rid of the piece of shit. I think that they were freaked out because of the reference, double Bach and got to get back in time. You know, They knew that someone in our group knew. I didn't know because I didn't pay attention. I just kept writing the fucking hits. That's all I did. But after a while, I kind of knew that. Duckbill Platypus is my shit from my weekly readers that I would get when in third grade. He didn't like Bill Leviker because I'm standing in a photo with Bill Leviker, who I called Lib Libowitz. There's another backward reference. But as you could see, we were doing the backward shit first before them. Their record label is Backward Talk. Their their names are Backward Talk. They had to cover it up and make another motherfucker. They had to make a Tim Armstrong um, to cover it up because it was our Tim. Because it's strong arm tactics. They got caught. They're caught. They're caught. They're caught. And they got well after the fact. So I'm the real Slim Shady. Slim is also a reference to my friend who was friends with the guy that got us into the Misfits brand punk. I was listening to the Dead Kennedys and Sex Pistols, but Slim. I took the lyrics to me and Slim song and I put it in the Patriot poetry book in '93. Joe Maglucci, I was in the band with Farah, her mother, and Joe Maglucci. He had a song 1993. It's the year for me. Because maybe I inspired him after listening to the Hendrix song, 1983, A Merman I Should Turn to Be. Tombstone Pizza. Susan is a Pinhead was our in Schenectady was our bridge graffiti along with the Cheaters, which yeah, they seem to like that. And you could see on my Hofner base it used to say US out of El Salvador. So you be the judge. We came first, they stole our sound. That's all there is to it. Do they sound like a punk band? They sound like they were trying to imitate the best elements of Aberration, The Becoming, um, Youth of Today, No Hope for Tomorrow, our bands, Black Friday in 1988. I can go on and on and on and on. All it takes is one message to get a point across. If you were actually righteous, you'd say this is our patented shit. Nobody would argue it. Instead, they went to other people to try to spread that message. New Day was a haircutting salon that Farrah's mother used to go to in 1991. Um, and we were all shocked about that too. Rudy Two Times probably made him nervous because Rudy Two Shoes, or Rudy Two Goody Shoes. You get his name, you get Too Cool on there. It all predates their shit. But as they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. They figured this guy don't even know. And you even had the Misfits, looking back. I just put this together pretty recently thinking about that. They had a guy, Mike Hideous, who at Pro Edge Factory with Doyle and Jerry. And he failed the audition. Around that time, Matt Smith told me, you should do this now. You should try out for the... And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not that good. But they got Michael Graves. Mike. See what I'm saying? Because they knew that I was ripped off too. Jerry only gave me his. Well, that's a story for another time. I don't want to bother Jerry only. He was great. Anthrax had only. Yep. Because we used to do a lot of Anthrax. I miss my metal days, but the shit is so. It's so. It takes real real chops to do it. The living color stuff, I don't see how that applies to this situation. But I was a big living color fan. But they used to play at CBGB's along with Anthrax and along with members of all those punk bands, the Ramones, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they got caught. Down on the police line, Sore Eye, Give Me Suicide, Numbskull, Green Skull. You don't know, but I do. And these pussies couldn't write a diss song if their lives depended on it. Bunch of punks and pussies. Little bit of mommy's boy. Little bit of three gay mommy's boys that got caught ripping shit off. I wear a tie. I've always worn a tie. They start wearing ties. I'm trying to do like a motherfucker. I'm definitely trying to do the Beatles. I'm trying to do Beach Boys. Any cool motherfucker that came along and wore a fucking tie. I'm trying to do the Romantics. I'm trying to do. Then all of a sudden, this prick's wearing a fucking tie. I play a red Fernandez. He comes along with the green one. I have to search the back pages of my line to remember all this. And every time the piece of shit did something, I had to change what I'm doing. Then I had to change to a black strat. Then he gets up. Oh, then I get a no. Then I get a red Memphis Les Paul thing. Next week, he's got a red Les Paul, and I'm like, this is getting fucking weird. So I get rid of the red Les Paul, get a black Stratocaster. Then he's got a black guitar. Then I go and I get a fucking Dan Electro that came out, which probably they made for me. Dan and Electro, my first webpage, Electro Analog. Then I start fixating on the New York Dolls. Then he goes out and gets a Johnny Thunders guitar. Then he starts putting on makeup, looking like Mike Trash, looking like my Miserables girl, Merriweather. It goes on and on and on and on. Rich had to get rid of his basses because the other fucks got the same thing, and it just went on and on and on and on. I get an '83 Marshall. He's got JCM 900. I mean a Fernandez. Come on, I got the guitar from Steve Nadeau in 1989. A red Fernandez looks like he goes out and gets a blue Fernandez. I had stickers all over my shit. He's got stickers. I take my stickers off. Now he's playing a guitar with no stickers on it. Who would go to such extremes? If you're the millionaire, why are you aping everything I do when you're always two steps behind?